Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Podium or Wall Season 5. All shake, no break. It's round 4, race number 2 at the Nurburgring GP. This time, screw those touring cars. We're in the GT3s. Let's add some horsepower to these puppies and see if we can get some action going. You know, the GT3s, we do have the benefit of a bit of an outlap to discuss things, so you will see the same grid order as the touring car race last round. Gold Striker getting off the line a little slow in the touring cars, instantly losing P1 before even turn 1. He'll be looking to not have the same thing happen here with the rolling start. He's controlling the field. Should be no reason that he loses that top spot.
Here we go. All 8 cars have lined up behind the pace car. The actual pace car, not to be confused with the racer pace car. And they will be doing a bit of a rolling start for this first lap as we get underway, looking from the bumper of the pace car.
What a beautiful angle there.
You know, you love it. Mr. Schwung already a bit heated, hitting the flashers there. He's angry. The TCRs did him dirty.
We see Gold Striker there opting for the Ford Mustang in this round. He's a bit of a veteran with that car on this course with all the endurance racing he's done. Look at that, a beautiful Akatsuki paint scheme. Jeff Plata there with the handicap. Pace car in third with the printer car. Mr. Schwung in fourth. He's got that Annihilate AMG this time in the Mercedes.
All right, and just like that, the pace car is away. Again, Gold Striker starting us out from the front. Let's see how they start. If we can change the camera, there we go. All right, and it
Gold Striker keeping him at pace speed. Plata giving him some room.
Waiting for that green light.
There he goes off. He's got a big gap. Jeff Plata getting swallowed up.
My God, there might be 3 wide going into
They're going 3 wide. Mr. Schwung on the outside. He's slowing up a little more. You see Gold Striker out to a great start there. Oh, a little bumping. That was Rock Lee into the back of Avant-Garde, but they're okay. Good start for Gold Striker, and Jeff Plata holding off onto P2. It looked like he was about to get swallowed up by the field there. As we've got Avant-Garde with the Cuban Missile up the inside. Cuban Missile up into 5th. He's got the pace car in 4th. Mr. Schwung into 3rd. Good start from the boys there.
Get a real tight pack here. You know, Gold Striker still in 1st, followed by Jeff Plata, and Mr. Schwung fought his way to 3rd. He's loving it. And Rock Lee has fallen back to 7th place. Him and Captain Crash seem to be beefing over last.
And I tell you what, I don't know how he does it. Cuban Missile started in the back of the pack again. He's already up into P5. He's right in the mix. Gold Striker, he's got a 2.5 lead already. Could this be the race he's been needing?
Oh,
Could
God.
he pull a Cuban Missile?
I think Avant-Garde and the Cuban Missile just touched butts. It
Oh,
looked like they had
no.
a real slow exit there at a turn 7.
Good battle here as we're on board with the Avant-Garde. Behind Rock Lee, he takes it a bit wide. Can he hold on? Oh my goodness. Almost loses it there. Good job to keep control of it.
You know, and it looked like he gave way. Captain Crash just took the pass on him, but I feel like that was gifted. Avant-Garde could have put a little more effort into staying on course, but you know, we appreciate seeing those kind of things where guys choose life and don't go for the accident.
Yep, and still cold tires on lap 1. Some of these cars, especially, you know, the mid-engine ones, I'd say, pretty tricky on cold tires. If you get the car unsettled a bit and you're on the acceleration and you get a little bump, you're going straight into the wall, as we've seen Gold Striker in round 2. Hopefully he doesn't have a repeat.
Yeah, we got a real fun mix
Cuban
here.
Missile up the inside. He'll go looking for P4. Is pace car going to be able to hang on? He's not. Cuban Missile up into P4.
He's going to make it stick. He's got the inside line.
Mr. Schwung and Jeff Plata coming into the heavy braking zone into turn 1. Plata on the inside, Schwung on the outside. Could have been anyone's turn.
And look at the field. You know, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are all bunched up. This is some real tight
It's
racing.
a
We'd love to
dog
see
eat dog world.
Captain Crash still in 7th place, followed by Avant-Garde. He had a small incident that dragged him back there. Let's see what those guys can do. Avant-Garde, a pretty quick racer, but
Ooh, they're going 3 wide there into the really tricky turns 3 and 4. Rock Lee coming out ahead. Looks like pace car suffered a bit there at the exit. He just had the least opportune angle, and you know, you get those exits out the straight. That's the most important thing. Rock Lee up into 5th.
Mr. Schwung still fighting for second place, followed closely by the Cuban Missile. And,
Look at that. Gold Striker, already a 5-second gap. You know what? I think this is his race. I don't think we're going to see him at all. I think, you know what? I'll call it now. First place for Gold Striker. Oh,
God, we have an incident.
Mr. Schwung goes around. He got rear-ended by the Cuban Missile there. Cuban Missile coming a little hot into that turn. The rest of the field somehow able to get by unscathed. Cuban Missile here looks to have a bit, not too much damage, actually. I think he'll be able to continue. But he took out Mr. Schwung, who was, I believe he was in third place at the time. I mean, that's a podium position all the way down to P7 for Mr. Schwung at the hands of the Cuban Missile.
It's a big shake-em-up. You know, those guys were fighting for the podium, and just like that, they are in last place. Let's see if they can bring it back here in the second half of the race.
You know, I don't know about you. When something like that happens to me on track, I just pound whatever's in sight. I'm just punching stuff. Oh, man, that makes me so angry. I'm sure he feels similarly, Mr. Schwung.
And here we have Captain Crash chasing the bumper of
Good
Jeff
fight
Plata.
here.
You know, those two escaped from that incident on turn 7. Let's see if they can make something of the time they've gained.
Captain Crash up the outside of the hard braking zone of turn 1. That's our keyword for today, the hard braking zone of turn 1.
You know, and it looks like he's let the
Avant-Garde's in the mix.
Yeah, Captain Crash let the Jeff Plata. He didn't want to put the pressure on, but the Cuban Missile is in the backfield with Mr. Schwung. Those two were the ones originally fighting, I think, for third place. And
Woo! Important to get a good exit here. He's got the car pointed in the right direction. Pretty good exit there from Captain Crash.
Look at that. He's bringing some speed.
He's side by side with Jeff Plata. Is he going to hold on? Nope. He'll duck inside. Ooh, just gets the car stopped in time. Plata putting his car in the middle of the course, making his car as wide as possible. But Captain Crash, whoa, it looks like a switchback. Beautiful from Jeff Plata. That's pretty good racing. Oh my goodness, the battle for second heating up.
They are duking it out, and don't forget about Avant-Garde. He is just biding his time, watching from the backfield.
He could just watch these guys battle all day, and once they make a mistake, second place is his. That's what he's thinking. Captain Crash going a little wide there, but manages, what a sharp turn he made there. I think the curb helped him complete that turn, but Avant-Garde taking the place from Captain Crash momentarily. Oh, but he dips a toe into the gravel, but he's able to hold on. That's a deja vu for him, I believe. That same turn in lap 1, he almost lost it as well. That's a pretty sick-looking car there from Captain Crash. As him and Jeff Plata continue the battle, it almost looks as if he's got neon lights underglowing on his car with that paint scheme. Pretty good stuff.
You know, I've heard almost half the field has some custom paint from one of the racers, and it's really it's lovely to see. There's different colors. We've got a lot of ease as commentators knowing who's who when it's not all black and white.
You gotta love watching this battle for second, third, and fourth here. These guys, this is a real fight. You know, I mean, we're 8 minutes into the race here, and these guys are neck to neck to neck. Gold Striker, he's not neck to neck. He's 11 seconds ahead. This might be the largest margin of victory.
Oh, God, they're bumping uglies.
Oh, there we go. A little retaliation there. They're having fun.
Captain Crash putting the elbows out there. This is a long straight. This is a meaningful section.
Neither wants to yield any room. Captain Crash opting to take it really wide. Plata holding on the inside. They'll be side by side. Oh, Plata nudging him off the line a little bit.
You got a bit of elbows there, and it looks like
many elbows are out. Avant-Garde, he's hanging around. Will he have it on Captain Crash? It looks like he does. Avant-Garde up into third.
Captain Crash, small mistake, going a little too deep.
Oh, Captain Crash loses it. Oh, that's one of those situations with the Corvette, a mid-engine car. You get a little greedy on the throttle, and the moment you cross that grip threshold, it's sayonara. And that leaves us with a two-man battle for P2. Jeff Plata, he goes away!
It's a disappearing line.
He does his disappearing jutsu. He could be anywhere right now. There he is. He appears back on the right. That's his signature move. No one knows how to replicate it, but it is deadly and effective. There he goes again.
He's done it again.
Maybe abusing it. You know, he doesn't want to rely on it too much.
You know, it looked like Avant-Garde had a really good exit, but when you can't know when you're...
Oh, and that's the third time he almost loses it in this chicane, but somehow he gains time. Avant-Garde is really putting it all on the line here, especially in turns number 9 and 11. That chicane.
Look at that shift. He's taking him on the outside.
He's going up the outside of Plata. They might be side by side here, coming into that long back straight. Turn 12 here.
Is somebody going to back down? The final chicane is not so wide.
Who gets the better exit off of turn 12? Oh, looks like Pavant might be able to pull out ahead, and that's pretty huge.
Ooh.
Jeff Plata not going quietly into the night. Here's the chicane, the tough part. Oh, Plata going over a little bit. He might have to serve a slowdown. We'll see if Plata can take advantage.
Caught a bit of air right there. You know, we're going to see...
Oh, and he's been known to catch air before. Thankfully, his car is able to get planted and keep going. As we see the pace car, look at him. It's 10 minutes into the race. He's in P4. He might be fighting for a podium spot here. Captain Crash right behind him. There's still a battle going on here, folks. I think the battle for second is anyone's. Any of those cars could take it. And if you look behind Captain Crash, only 5 seconds to Mr. Schwung. Him and the Cuban Missile kind of working themselves back into the situation.
Here we are on board with Captain Crash. Bit of an interesting move here. He spun out on the last lap right around this same corner. Let's see what he can do. Fingers crossed he can keep it all four on the floor, you know what I'm saying? But
You want to keep it planted.
Pace car makes a small mistake on the exit. You know, that might cost him something. Captain Crash has been chasing. And again, Pavant just getting a bit of a break. The Jeff Plata car is falling back, and he's getting involved with the pace car Captain Crash scrum. Let's see what they do here.
I think one of the hardest parts in these races is you come down to the wire here, and you're close, and you're fighting for a position. You know, you just got to keep that cool about you as Jeff Plata goes in and out of existence, and pace car goes into the back of him. That's really unfortunate for the pace car. He was having a good run there. Plata seems to slow down out of nowhere and then almost reappears right in front of the pace car, but they're still both moving.
You know, that's the cost of that disappearing line technique. Nobody knows where you are. You might get involved in a fender bender because we can't see you. But here we go. Captain Crash pressing on the pace car right here. Him and Jeff Plata all fighting over third place. It's anyone's race.
Avant-Garde running off a bit in P2. He's got a 5-second gap to Plata because he's been having to battle and hold off Captain Crash and the pace car. They've all been fighting as he goes in and out of existence again. There he's back. You know what? We're going to have to look at that one. That's a bit scary for the cars behind. You never know what you're going to see.
You know, and Captain Crash just muscled on the poor pace car.
That was a pretty good move there. Pace car losing a good bit of time, and Captain Crash seemingly charging ahead. You know, Captain Crash, he's had a real turnaround this season. He's finding himself P2 in the championship standings. Started this race in P7. He's all the way up into P4, and he's fighting for another podium. If he's managing to secure that, they'll have a pretty good points position in the championship.
You know, and don't forget, Captain Crash and Jeff Plata, they were duking it out laps 3 and 4, I think it was. And here they are again, getting to the wire as Captain Crash takes a very interesting line here. Let's see what he does.
Oh, out the outside. It's really important turns here. Whoever can get the exit out of this here turn will have the advantage. Pace car going wide. It won't be him. Captain Crash. Oh, pace car. Captain Crash. Jeff Plata. Plata holding up the inside. Oh, Captain Crash lunging. But he'll stick behind for now. You know, he might just want to hold off for now, get a draft on one of the longer straights. Maybe pass him like that. We'll see.
I don't know. He looks impatient. He's been lunging through a bunch of these corners. We'll see what he does. We're coming up on another one here that's very meaningful. Turn 7
Takes
on
the outside line. Hoping to cut back in. Plata clears. Plata goes wide. This is exactly what Captain Crash envisioned. He's got the space easy. That was a textbook maneuver. Plata going a little bit wide. Captain Crash takes advantage, and just like that, that's a whole second.
You know, and don't forget the backfield. Pace car is just in front of Mr. Schwung. He had a 5-second
Mr.
gap.
Schwung, he's back in the action. Actually, that's a wild recovery. Him and Cuban Missile, after having that entanglement about 6 minutes to go going in the race, they're back in the action. I mean, this is crazy. This is anyone's race. Mr. Schwung, as soon as we mention his name, dips a toe into the rocks, and he finds himself in the back of the pack. But that pack is tight. Look at the map here. We've got third with about a 2-second gap over fourth, but fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, they're right there. They're in a line. They're in a train, and we're coming close to the end of the race here. The positions, a lot of point differential here to be gained.
Pace car goes a little wide, followed by the Cuban Missile, and Jeff Plata is still leading the pack there for, I think this is 4th place.
God, could you imagine if Cuban Missile finds his way onto the podium here? That would be something. That would show dominance. Avant-Garde here.
My God.
Oh, no! That's
Big
our
mistake.
P2! He was in P2 pretty comfortably. He's spinning. Can he get the car turned back around? Oh, my goodness. You know, he had a pretty sizable gap, though, in front of him.
Avant-Garde had an 8-second lead, and just like that, it may have been squandered with a single mistake
And
on the
it's
final
squandered
lap.
to about a second, but he's holding on to it. This just became the craziest race of all time in the league, maybe. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Race for second. Avant-Garde only with a half a second lead over Captain Crash. And they're fighting right behind him. I believe they've only got about a half second to him.
You know, I saw Jeff Plata pull out his disappearing line technique again, and that might have thrown the pace car off.
Pace car. He's going to go past.
Just
Wow.
like that.
Exhilarating stuff here. I believe it could be a last lap situation.
Big shake him up. This might be the last lap. And again, Avant-Garde had a huge lead. He's now being chased by Captain Crash, who we'll see what he can do here. He's putting a bit of pressure
and
on.
back. They've fallen a little behind. It could be just a battle for P2 while the rest of the positions fuck off and fight for themselves. Can Captain Crash put the pressure on Avant-Garde? As we see the Cuban Missile still dealing with the pace car. Pace car sticking around. He's fighting.
A little damage never hurt nobody. You know, nothing a little duct tape can't fix as he's chasing the Cuban Missile here. He does not want to leave any points behind. He wants that Cuban Missile. He's going for P5. Just following the slipstream as much as he can, going to this final chicane. There's only one more turn. This might be the outlap.
I think they're getting the white flag this time. We'll see.
I can believe that. I can believe that. You know, these guys are still fighting hard. We're going to have to work on our timings as commentators just never know what lap we're actually on.
I put the fault on the timing tower. You know, they should give us a flag signal up here. I mean, what are we working with here? This is a $1,000 broadcast.
They paid you $1,000?
Look at this fucking view.
And here we are back with Captain Crash chasing Avant-Garde. Again, he was 8 seconds in the lead, and now they are on top of each other. Captain Crash is just putting the pressure on from the backfield. Avant-Garde, small mistake, but he catches it. Love to see that. They are getting closer and closer, and the Captain Crash Corvette is on the outside. What are they going to do
Lordy,
here?
I hope this is part of the race, because this is good stuff.
Holy shit.
Captain Crash. Avant-Garde on the inside. Avant-Garde has the position. Will Captain Crash have the exit? He does. Is he going to go around?
You know, he's thinking about it, but I think he lifted just a bit too soon.
I don't know. I think I might have taken that one.
I don't know. Here he is, turn 7. This is a meaningful corner. If you hit the gas too early, you are screwed. In the sand and gravel.
True. The turn is a lot longer than it appears. It's about 180 degrees, maybe even more.
And this final chicane, again, this is one where if you take God's line, you can stay flat out. But otherwise, you are in danger.
Lose himself there on turns, 9 and 10, that little chicane in the midway of the course. Oh, Cuban Missile goes a little wide there from P5. Oh, he's off into the track. And Mr. Schwung dodge him. He does. Oh, my goodness. Gold Striker here taking the checkered flag. We're turning back in with him. You know what? You may think, well, go back to the action. Well, he's got 25 seconds in front of him, so we'll be able to see everything. P2 and P3 still fighting.
You know, and I'm hearing from the non-stewards that Captain Crash might have got a
Here
bit of an incident.
Down the chicane. Captain Crash, will he have enough to challenge Redeem Vagine on the final turn? Oh, look up the inside. Redeem Vagine with a little bit of squiggle. It's actually Avant-Garde. They changed names. Will he have the toe? He's looking. Oh, my goodness. He's got the draft, but it won't be enough. Avant-Garde holding on to second and taking the fastest lap. What a finish there for P3.
And here we go with
Plata coming home in P4. Pace car in P5.
Impressive finish.
He's been showing out this season.
Mr. Schwung,
unfortunate race for him.
You know,
he looked like he had the speed early on. He was in a podium position.
He had that one incident, and it's hard to come back from that kind of stuff, especially on a track like this. There's just, but very impressive. Mr. Schwung and the Cuban Missile returned to the race after a bit of an incident on one of the first laps.
What a sigh of relief for Gold Striker. I mean, he's never started a season that poorly before, and he's finally back on the podium by a large margin. He's letting people know he's still the Gold Striker of old, and you better watch out, because he's coming. He's going to come.
Look out for Event 5. Gold Striker, we'll see where he starts, but something tells me he's still towards the front of the pack. He might be in
he's
third.
Towards the middle of the pack. Despite the win, the early positioning was just terrible, so he's still got a long ways to go. Notably, the Mole Diver, not the greatest finishes in the first 2 races and missing rounds 3 and 4. He'll actually be starting from the front of the pack this time. So a very interesting scenario here as we see Cuban Missile crossing the line in reverse. A bit of a show-off here. Wait, Rock Lee, he's coming in hot. Oh, my God, do we have a battle here? Rock Lee No, he can't do it. The Cuban missile flashing him as if to taunt him. Oh my God.
He doesn't
did not
like
take
that.
kindly to that.
Yeah, no, that was a big strike there at the end.
They're
Cuban
having
Missile
fun.
and Rock Lee, you know, just a quick brawl at the end of the race, but nobody likes somebody flashing them in reverse.
I won't speak for you, but that was quite an exhilarating race, you know, besides the fact that Gold Striker run off with it. I mean, that was partially expected, I think, by a lot of people at home. The rest of the field, what a race.
That was some real close stuff. Pavant-Garde and Captain Crash, with that small mistake, Pavant-Garde lost quite the lead, and those two duked it out for the final lap, that's for sure. Good stuff to see. Again, Mr. Schwung and the Cuban Missile taking themselves out in an early lap, but returning to the fight for 4th, 5th, and 6th, and there was a lot of battling here from the GT3s. Compared to the TCRs, way more exciting. Just saying.
Let's take a look at our championship standings after week 2, after round 4. Let's take a look.
Now, we already know the Cuban Missile's got a couple too many W's.
Cuban Missile with that hat trick, but he can't make it 4. But he's still in first place by a good margin.
My God,
Oh,
22
you know
points separate the Cuban Missile from Captain Crash. Captain Crash.
That can't be right. This was last week.
This is last week.
This was last week.
Either
Keep
way,
him entertained.
Cuban Missile, 3 wins in a row, followed by Captain Crash as far as the standings go. We're going to double check our numbers here.
Oh,
we
wait,
think.
you know, that's right.
Yeah,
right. Sorry,
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, no, Cuban Missile's got an unbelievable lead. 22 points between him and Captain Crash. Captain Crash has got a couple 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place finishes, rounding out at 60 points, followed by Redeemed Vagine with 48.
48 points there.
Apologies. Redeemed Vagine was...
Oh, you know what?
No
they
longer a
they're
racer.
keeping the scores. It's Pavant-Garde, but he's got 48, finding himself in 3rd position right there. Right behind him, Rock Lee with 45. Right behind him, Mr. Schwung with 42. Gold Striker with 41. I mean, goodness. This is the closest we've seen the championship standings be in a long time. And I know it's early in the season, but with all the shakeups we've seen this season, you know, these are 2 new cars to the league. Neither have been driven in a previous season. And I mean, we're seeing some close races. We're seeing that the leader runs off in every race, but every other car is having a significant battle.
You know, like you said,
this is good stuff.
This is anyone's race. We're only on week 2, wrapping it up here, and the point differential between 2nd and, my God, 7th place is it's pretty close. These guys are all fighting for every position. There is almost no separating Redeemed Vagine to Gold Striker and Jeff Plata, who are only 10, 12 points behind. You know, it's anyone's race. Anyone can run off with it.
And the twist people aren't expecting, after next week, we'll start implementing our race drop system, which will have a significant impact on the starting grid. That being, we drop 4 races. It's a little tough to explain. I might not do it all, but we drop 4 races. So after this next week, we will start dropping races, and the standings could see a good shake 'em up. It could be anyone's starting position. But as we've seen before, especially in the TCR, starting position isn't everything.
Nope. Starting position's not everything at all. But come back for next week. We're going to have events 5 and 6. We're going to do the TCRs and GT3s at
Summit Point. A classic for the league. A lot of history there. I don't know if we've broadcasted the past races, but it's Moldiver. He's back. It's his course. Last season suffered 2 last lap defeats to Gold Striker at Summit Point. It almost became a nightmare track for him, from his home track to a nightmare track. We'll see if the trend continues. Moldiver looking to come in hot. Of course, he's starting from the front. Gold Striker starting from the middle, though, so we'll see. Cuban Missile, he's starting from the back, but he's had a pretty good time so far. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been Season 5, All Shake, No Break, Podium or Wall, Round 4, Nurburgring GP. Thank you for watching.